Welcome to this session on contract types and procurement planning. So, contracts are essential in procurement planning as they establish legally binding agreements between project teams and external vendors. The choice of contract type directly impacts the project risks, cost control, and vendor performance. Some contracts provide the price certainty, while others offer the flexibility to account for project uncertainties. Understanding different contract types help project managers and procurement teams to select the best approach for managing the cost, scope, and risks effectively. Each contract type has different benefit and challenges, and the selection process should align with the project needs, regulatory requirements, and market conditions. And to start with the first type here, which is fixed price contracts. Fixed price contract establish a set cost for deliverables, providing a cost predictability. The first type here we have is the firm fixed price or the FFP. The FFP contracts are most rigid, with no adjustment allowed, meaning that the vendor assumes full risk if costs increase. The next type here, which is fixed price incentive fee, which is known as the FPIF. The FPIF contracts include incentives to motivate vendors to reduce the cost while maintaining the quality. The next type we have here is fixed price with economic price adjustment. And these contracts allows price modification based on inflation or currency fluctuation or material cost changes, making them suitable for long-term projects in unstable markets. These contracts ensure the clear expectation but can also lead to dispute if unforeseen costs arise. To focus on the advantages and disadvantages of having a fixed price contract. So, the fixed price contracts benefit the buyer by providing a clear cost structure and reducing the financial uncertainty. And they are ideal for projects with well-defined scope and minimal expected changes. However, since the vendor assumes financial risks, they may set a higher price to cover the uncertainties. If an unexpected challenge arises, the vendors may attempt to cut costs in a ways that affect the quality or seek for contract negotiation. Project managers must ensure detailed contract terms to mitigate such risks. Next type of contract we have here is the cost reimbursable contracts. Cost reimbursable contracts shift the financial risk from vendors to buyers by covering the actual project costs and adding an agreed upon fees. And it has three main types. So the first one is cost plus fixed fee. This contract ensures the vendors recover the expenses but limit profits. The next type here we have is cost plus an incentive fee. So these contracts motivate the vendors to control the costs while maintaining the quality. The last type we have is the cost plus award fee. And such contracts, it re-award or it's re-award the vendors based on a subjective performance metrics such as the innovation or customer satisfaction. And these contracts provide the flexibility for complex projects but require a strong oversight to prevent any cost inflation. To summarize the advantages and disadvantages of cost reimbursable contracts, so cost reimbursable contracts allows for adaptability and project execution, making them ideal for a project with unclear scope or high uncertainty. And they encourage collaboration between the buyers and sellers, as vendors are reimbursed for legitimate costs. However, these contracts requires close cost tracking and monitoring to prevent unnecessary expenses. If not managed properly, the cost reimbursable contracts can lead to budget overruns and inefficiencies. The next type of contract we have here is the time and material contracts. Time and materials or T&M contracts are a hybrid model where vendors are paid based on hours worked and material used. And these contracts provide the flexibility when the scope is uncertain, but may lead to cost and unpredictability. They are often used for consulting and software development or staff augmentation. While they allow for quick adaptation to change needs, they require a close monitoring to prevent any excessive billing and inefficiencies. Now let's highlight the risk allocation in different contract types. So risk allocation is a key factor in contract selection. So fixed price contract shifts the cost risks to the vendor. Again, the fixed price contracts all of the risks on the vendor, making them ideal when the scope and requirements are well defined. The cost reimbursable contracts place a financial risks on the buyer. As the project costs are uncertain, the next type we have here is we say that the time and material contract. So time and material contracts involve shared risks, as they offer flexibility but require a strong oversight to prevent cost overruns. So understanding these risks distribution helps project managers to make informed procurement decisions that aligns with the project needs and risk tolerance. Again, to summarize this, since this is very important to you, so risk allocation and how we allocate the risk based on the different risk type or the contract types. So we said the fixed price contracts, the risk here on the vendor. Cost reimbursable contracts, the buyer assumes most the risk. In the time and material contract, it's a shared risk between the buyer and the vendor. The legal compliance consideration and procurement planning. So legal and regulatory compliance is critical in procurement planning to ensure contracts are enforceable and protect both parties' interests. Contracts should be defined with IP rights to avoid future ownership disputes, and they must also outline the dispute resolution mechanism, such as the arbitration of, let's say, mediation to prevent cost legal battles. Ensuring compliance with locals and international procurement laws reduces the risks and fosters the ethical business relationships. Here are the key steps to understand what contracts to select. So, selecting the appropriate contract type depends on several factors, including the project complexity, the risk tolerance, and the cost predictability and administrative overhead. So fixed price contracts are suitable for well-defined project with minimal expected changes. The cost reimbursable contracts work best for high-risk projects requiring adaptability and flexibility. The time and material contracts are ideal for temporary staffing or consulting services where flexibility is needed. Ensuring the contract selection align with the overall procurement strategy, which minimizes the risks and enhances the vendor collaboration. To summarize our session on contract types and risk management and allocation, and in which case that you have to go for which type of contract. So we said understanding contract types and their risks implications is crucial for effective procurement planning. We say that fixed price contracts provide the cost predictability but may result in a higher upfront pricing. And the cost reimbursable contracts allows for adjustment based on project needs but require a strong financial governance. The time and material contracts offer the most flexibility but can lead to cost overrun if not managed properly. And by evaluating the project requirements and risks factors and financial considerations, the project managers can select the contract types that best support the project success while mitigating the procurement risks.